Hey everyone, this is Tracy with Color Me This. I am on episode 256. As you can see, we are working on the Small Victories daily color today. I have picked what I thought was a minimal color palette, but I have like 14 pencils sitting out. I also have grabbed my new Poscas in white, gold, and silver, the ultra fine, which is the pin type that says it's PC-1MR. So I do not think I have colored a white house or gray, a neutral colored house, and so I'm doing some metals. It all started with the teapot. So the teapot here is first, and I grabbed a couple of browns to give it some gold accents. It's awkward for me to have to work in the upper left corner, so I have my book kind of curled up against my tummy. My right hand is holding it still, so it's going to be awkward to keep it still and rotate the pencils around. These are the Brutfuner squares. You'll see some funky numbers on them because they're my backup. Well, they were the primary that had a different purpose, and now they have become the backup as I use the others for primarily daily color projects, and I have them set aside with romantic country. So we've got 3 browns. They are a sort of gold palette, very minimal because the images are so small, and they kind of look like they're all equal colored. They're just different tones because of the barrels. So we're just going to roll with them and see how it goes with number 22, 20, and 93. And if you're curious what the numbers are, they might look somewhat familiar to you because they are Prismacolor color numbers. I was set up to use these as my tutorial budget versions of the Prismacolors. Now that was very long ago now. I have now moved on to different kinds of coloring that keep me pretty busy. If I do a tutorial these days, I'll often watch them while relaxing and won't necessarily participate. I'll see, a cool coloring page, a cool technique that pops up, and I'll watch and skim through the whole tutorial, and if I like it and the content is appealing to me, I give it that thumbs up. I have actually subscribed by being lured in to a couple of interesting images, watching the preview in silence, and next thing you know, I've liked and subscribed and watched 10 more videos. So you see, this is just a very quick semblance of gold using these 3 colors. They're not even necessarily lights and darks, they're just like different brown tones. So yeah, we're going to do gold, silver. On the other images, the 2 houses will be white with gray, and the jars are going to be glass. I do have a little mock-up that I did, which is why I was surprised when I was all done, because it looks so simple. But to get all of the different color tones, like here I'm going to add the glowy windows. Got to have the glowy windows. That's just 1 yellow. I don't even need the yellow for the last image because it's the glass image. This house just has the centers of the flowers. When I do a row like this, I prefer to have the color go across all 4 images, but I am okay. I'm just gonna make this lantern a little bit glowy. I am thinking doorknobs are all going to be gold. The little ball holding the lantern on from slipping off the end, and the base, that will be gold Posca. The top and bottom of the lantern, gold Posca. This kick plate in the bottom of the door will be silver. The knob will be gold. Knob gold, and the little side thingies gold. No metal on the last one. So we'll see if we stick to it. I have the brown I'm not done with the brown. So as we approach the impending arrival of all of the different things that are going to be arriving this week, I have, of course, not been sleeping. Too excited. So last night on my Halloween projects that I shared, I have 2 that I need to get done before September 1st. I finished one of the 2. I will refrain from sharing until the weekly color, but the funny thing is, I colored on it until 3 in the morning, and I never even moved from my copy paper. I just kept coloring. I actually printed 2 copies of the R.J. Hampson dragon with the circle. There's 2 pumpkin thief dragons. One is from the book, and this one is a downloadable. So I asked Hub what he thought would be a good Halloween fall dragon, and he let me know, and that's the one that I got really involved in, and it came out pretty darn good. And again, it's still on copy paper because I still have to do what I think will make a good fall dragon on the other copy that I made, and the pumpkins are already colored in. I actually did the draft copies after the pumpkins were colored, so I don't have to deal with the pumpkins. I remember I wanted the pumpkins colored to do the count yesterday, and I actually, though I did not tell you guys what the count was, the total, I had missed writing down this particular pumpkin, and so I actually have 48 pumpkins that I will be coloring unless I find anything more. See, they're just little tiny simple images, so we'll see how they end up. Oh, okay. I'm going to pause because one of the things getting delivered that was going to be tomorrow, I just pinged them because it's after 5 o'clock. And it's a giant shipping truck with 3 classic vehicles that are my stepdad's. So I better go see what he is texting me. He calls my parents more than he calls me, and I'm the one that gets to be there tomorrow because they won't quite be there. And I'll talk about that, but I'm going to pause so that I can go see what he just texted, make sure it's not something urgent. But I will be right back. All right. That was them calling, the shipper, and he got stuck yesterday in Atlanta, 5 hours, 3 miles, because of a lab fire. Completely unexpected and was not related to the hurricane. So we're back to doing some gold/brown trim with the regular pencils, and then we still have the Posca gold to play with. So I am going to continue on here. I hear Hub stirring. It's all hurry up and wait, hurry up and wait. But at least I know it's afternoon, so I can go do my normal morning exercise routine. And I know he is safe. I like the cute little cherries. So that actually, I picked a part of the image that was unusual for me. And then I also picked the color of the pot. So between the pot being gold and silver and the cherries, it kind of helped frame up what my coloring would be. So let's do those cherries. I have 2 reds. I just can't do one. It just isn't my thing. So I'm going to do a light bit of red here. I could sharpen this. And then I want red mushrooms. So I do purposefully balance. I know that the glass jar is not going to have yellow. I know that the pot is not going to have red. So I kind of try to tie these cute little, images in a row and make sort of a story with them. Make a cohesive group. Now, what'll be interesting is if I decide I want to do all 4 rows this color scheme, because this is definitely not a normal color scheme for me. And in the additional rows, which I haven't even looked at yet, and guess what? I haven't even done my new rotation. So we're starting round 5 of my pencil sets, and I will be running my random number generator in Excel, and we'll be printing out, I think I only have 30 sets. I thought I had 31, but I noticed a duplicate Starjoy in round 4. So 30 sets is almost a month's worth. And I have some additional, I got to do the Erogetin a couple of times now with the full 100. And I went from 35 Holbeins to still working on that transition. So I hope that the Holbeins isn't early, because I am still trying to get the conversion chart done. And today I can remember the name. Last night I was filming and I could not remember the word. Conversion chart. Sometimes I get tongue-tied when I am filming. All right, so there's a little bit of red, just 1 coat. I will have to come in and burnish. I probably should, before that happens, I will sharpen that. But I want to just block in the colors. I then have I can do red on the door, or I can do, so I have 3 doors. On my mock-up, I have red on all 4 items, little scenes, but I think I would prefer to have the navy blue along the 3 doors. We'll see if I regret that. Remember, part of my purpose for coloring like this is to not be over analytical and get stuck in a rut or overthink what I am doing. So this little door panel I already told you is going to be silver. Yep, so I think it is more important that I just color than I analyze all of the different aspects of the coloring. I kind of like want to just let it kind of build on its own as I go. I do have a second blue. That blue was nice and sharp. Actually, these blues both are sharp, so they have been used. So this is like a middle cornflower blue, I guess. Don't ask me why this door is not center aligned. Oh, that one I did the other way. I guess I'm doing my light source in random order, random places, and that's okay too. I am very distracted, you guys. So much going on. I really am so excited for my parents to come. They have enjoyed their journey. Here's their choices. It was buy a giant crate, airplane quality, airline quality, for about $800. Sell their Jeep, which they just drive a Jeep, Grand Cherokee, and get here in 5 hours, pay their airfare, pay for the crate, pay whatever the shipping is for the dog. The dog will be very stressed. They won't allow you, supposedly, to tranquilize a dog. They don't want them to be, because they can't tell if the dog is okay then. So she was told. And so I drove their vehicle to, when Hub and I were, the night before we left, I drove over and followed Hub. So here's what I'm doing with the teapot. It is going to be silver with the gold accents. And hopefully this was darker on the copy paper. And when I drove the Jeep, I'm like, Mom, this is a really good vehicle and it has nice low miles. I just think you should, if you could at all handle the trek across the US, it would be probably less stressful for the dog. The cost-wise, it would be an experience, and cost-wise, I think it would be a wash. And I can't believe that they are actually doing it. And she has a bad back, like I have a bad back. We have different things wrong, but I do get the whole can only go for so many hours and sit for so long and have to stop. The dog has to stop, but they're doing it, and I guess her husband is really enjoying himself. I can hear it in his voice, actually, when I'm talking to her, which I haven't even talked to her that much. We've been texting. But today we needed to shift the plan of how they were going to get here, from going through Alabama and Georgia to coming through on the Gulf Coast, because I trust that Florida Highway 10 is going to be sound and safe for them. And not anything weird going on that they wouldn't know how to deal with. So this is our silver. The barrels of these is tricky because this is a much lighter barrel, but it is going down darker. I suspected that might be the case. So here's my silver pot with the gold accents, and that's what gave us the initial color palette that I then built on using the cherry at the other end. So the cars are going to be here after 3 tomorrow, and I have to meet them at the storage unit. And then my parents, if my mom is up for a longer than normal drive, it would have to be at least 7 hours each day. They could get here Wednesday evening, the day after the vehicles arrive. Or they can be more leisurely and get here in 3 days. So I have these little dots, and I like to use the dots for my accent hints, accent prompts. And I could do a little bit. This is the darker. I'm going to do the lighter gray. So I'm all ready to do, I did the poll. I looked at the results of the 2 polls, and I have a very high percent wanting to see the line art and a much lower percent needing to see the ivy. So I'm all set here to do the line artwork tomorrow. I almost did it today, but I really wanted to color over line art today. It's like, what do I feel like today? I still feel like coloring. In fact, it's a struggle to do other things than coloring. I am very addicted to coloring with my pencils these days. It's kind of funny. I have so many other little projects. Every day I spend time in the trailer getting it re-outfitted for people to be in it, because we were ready to sell it. And had to fill it back up, clean everything, put it all back together, test all the systems. So I've been doing a little bit of that each day. So there's the teapot, very cute. I'm going to switch to the darker. Yeah, here's the, I don't think I told you these grays, did I? I might not. Yeah, I did tell you the browns. All right, so the gray, that is the bluish gray, the top one, is actually the darker one. It's number 60. And then the bottom gray, 72, is the lighter gray. And really neither of them line up color-wise with the actual pigment. So if you can get over that part with these pencils, they feel fantastic. They just are a very, I even love the feel of the blue. Now the house, 2 houses aren't going to be needing to be metallic. So they're just going to have some shading. They're really just white houses in my mind. Right before, I was actually down finishing my mom's new map after we reviewed the game plan. The complete change of direction from, I was going to have them traverse Alabama and Georgia, go all the way to Savannah, and then drop down on the East Coast. I thought that would be fun. But then there were lots of symbols in Google about flooding, and some really slow traffic, and then the side streets off the highway were red, and I'm like, I just don't want my mom to get stuck and frustrated. So I said, change of plan. So she is all set. She did send me a text that they do have a slowdown for construction on 55, wherever they are at on 55. Okay, so that's the White House number 2, and then this one, and I'd never even used the light gray. So I probably, this one will be even lighter. I want it to look like a white house with some shading. Boy, doing those pumpkins, the pumpkins, everything is so big on 8.5 by 11 sheets. I am so used to these tiny images. But I like that I have already sorted out images to work on this month, because my free time will be very sporadic. All right, so there's the 3 whites. We've got our red, white, and blue tones. I haven't burnished yet. I see lots of tooth. We can move on to the green. The greens need to be sharpened, and the 3 colors are light, medium, dark. I went with pretty bright kind of primary colors because the blue and the red are primary colors. So we've got 42, 77, and 79. I'm just grabbing my sharpener. So the other exciting thing that happened today, and I know I've been doing a lot of videos because I'm wrapping everything up, all of my in-process things that are time sensitive, and so I don't want to miss my window. There's other items that can wait, you know, like my pumpkins can wait. The pumpkin pages can be filmed anytime. But I really want to open up the Joann's Prismacolor order that came. Because the box is huge, and I think there's quite a bit of slop. I need to keep this sharpening. So I wanted to do at least like a conclusion. The order is here. Let's see what it looks like. And the only thing I need out of that box are the 2 new pencils, which I would love to swatch with you guys. So I might get to wait till tomorrow for that. So I showed you the 3 colors. That 77 is very hard to read. The other set of these have the zipped off with the, and they're too far away for me to show you, so that I can read my own writing, which is way easier than trying to read these gold letters with the reflection. So now we've got just a little bit of greens. Should be super fast. The most exciting green aspect here is this fun leafy roof. Hub had to finish the ramp we built, which is not for my parents, it is for the dog. And he isn't necessarily an elderly dog, he's just a very large dog, and the fold down steps on a fifth wheel, there's 4 of them, I believe, 3 or 4, and that's just not dog friendly, especially big dog friendly. I don't even know that he would even be willing to try to go up them. So we made a ramp. It's temporary, using materials Hub has in the garage. I think he had to buy some extra 2x4s. So that got finished today. He went shopping. We do, we have little shopping where we just, strike Team Alpha, go and buy a few things. And then there's the supplies replenishment type shopping, which is all of our staple goods that we use. So he did a staple food run this morning, partially so that when my parents arrive, we have the basics available to them should they need a couple of days. They've been eating on the road. My mom very proudly tells me that she has had waffles every day. I'm like, great, you're going to arrive here at this wonderful place of exercise with 10 pounds to shed. So it'll be perfect, a perfect motivation. It will be so fun to see them in the pool. They're the ones who introduced me to the aqua aerobics. That is what they love to do. And it's not even aqua aerobics, it's aqua fitness, and we do something different every day. So exciting to actually have them here. I never ever thought that would happen. And the funny thing is, it was their idea. I didn't even have to push to have my mom consider moving here for health reasons, and how wonderful it has been for me with my health issues, and getting rid of the big farm that's all that responsibility and mowing and all that stuff, because here it's HOA and it's all that stuff is taken care of. Bills are very simple. She's like, okay, well, how much is it going to cost? And I said, well, give me all of your monthly bills. And she had all these little things. And I had two. I have electricity and everything else. And everything's covered. So that really helped. Because it's just everything here it's a simpler, slower life. Everybody is retired and not in a hurry, and they live, back in the Washington state, and you go into town and everybody's in a rush. It's just crazy. I'm sorry, I'm trying to hold this still, right in the right position. So I hope, and I can't see it. Some days I can see it. It just depends on the placement of the image on the page. I could have gone upside down. I should probably run a poll. I did the circle upside down, and then I flipped it right side up, but my hands are upside down. And though it was a little bit off-putting at first for me, I'm like, I don't think that's so bad. So I could do that with this. But now I've muddled through and I'm almost finished, so I won't bother flipping it upside down. So this puffy is going to be green. And then the middle green. And I am trying to vary the colors from scene to scene. So I'm not going to use any light green with this little shrubby and then let's see if we can have this be small enough. Okay. Now always on the right. So what happens here, if I've explained this, my phone does not necessarily sit level. So one side or the other, when it's not level, will not focus all the way, and I won't see it. So I hope we're over here, we're focused. Oh, and I need to do, these will be light. So aside from the accents, the teapot is done. I need the chimney. And then the stems and the dots on the mushrooms, which, yes, I did pick out a color for that. The browns will be used for the cork. On the bottles. I do hear a stirring. Oh, and there he is. I'm gonna see if Hub what he is up to. I'll be right back. All right, Hub is off on a bike ride. I am jealous, but I already did have to go pick up mail. Earlier today, which is a little over 2 miles round trip. And then I went a long way to check on some stuff. I like to just, sometimes I'll just go up and down the trail further, take different directions to get there, to wherever my destination is. So though I was sad to not go with him, I need to get my video loaded. All right. I'm gonna do a little bit more. I'm going to shift. Of course, now I'm too warm. A couple of interruptions messes everything up. I have a very lightweight blanket, and I sit here under a ceiling fan, so it goes from being too cool to eventually too warm to too cool, and it is just a process. Oops, that's my lamp. Okay. Continuing on, forging ahead. So these are good little images for in that spare time. I even last week, not the last week, on the weekend, I was working on one of the pumpkins, the one I finished. I spent hours and hours on that, on copy paper, because I am silly. I took my satchel that I just bought and I put my pencils, which were the Erogetin, in a little teal case, and put them and the page on a clipboard and my swatches. My sharpener fits in that satchel. Everything fit all nicely, and I have one free case from my Temu case haul from last year, and that fits absolutely perfect, and it can hold the pencils and erasers and things, sharpener, not the big one. And so I went out to the trailer, turned the AC on, had to make sure that the TV, it's a Roku TV and it needed a patch, and so I just sat out there and colored. So the fact that I had already set up coloring projects, okay, to work on. I've got the dark red, and I have a little bit of brown. The browns are sitting right here, and I have the blue flowers. So let me take the brown here. This is not my favorite color of brown. It is very like orangey brown. It's one of the three that are just like, they're all the same tonal value. They're just like different hues. But they work. And this one feels so nice because it's sharpened. Okay. I have the front steps here that I want to have. And these little bricks, just grabbing random colors. My red, I want to do the darker red tone. So I'm sharpening the dark red. I still have, I think, 5 minutes left, which should be perfect. So see, I'm getting the little shadows in the cherries. And you know, last week I was using glasses, my reading glasses, or not reading, craft glasses. This week I don't need them. know what is up with that. Cute little mushrooms. I had one more thing. I'm looking for it. I think I have this very light color. I just don't even know if it's going to show. It's a lovely color, but kind of small. I know what I was going to do. The chimney. I know it's kind of candy cane swirl, but I am going to ignore that. Kind of make it look gold. Okay, the last little bit. We have flowers, and what I'm going to do with the flowers is they're the cornflower blue. But I am going to use the blue for the door. And I might come through these doors and darken them up a tiny bit. I just do not know why I did that door's shadow and highlight the other way. And these little teeny tiny flowers that I hope are still in focus. Okay, now we're going to be really brave. Grabbing, haven't even tested. This is me shaking the gold Posca. And have stretch paper. First time actually using these. Gold done. The only thing for silver that I have is this. The little kick plate. See, now this tiny image, I cannot believe that it has a kick plate, but it does. Okay, that is enough of those. I'm going to do my best with these jars. Yep, that's working. I've noticed there is some transparency through. It's not super opaque like an acrylic. And here's what I want to do. We're going to do A little bit there. I have to put my glass lines, the reflections, over the cherries or you can't see them. And I'm going to do a reflection line here. I do like how this is not a ballpoint style pen. I am really liking that part of it. Okay, so now that needs to dry. And let's see, I do not know how long it takes to dry, but I am going to go in here with this blue and add more blue. So it looks more glass-like, and then we are finished. So tomorrow I am ready to do the brick. I will do the line work. It was like almost 80% yes for that. And it was almost 50-50 for whether or not people would love to have seen me do more of the ivy, which is just basic coloring. So I figured some people are like, yep, you give me 5 ivy things and 1 wisteria and I'm good. Okay. That is it for the day. Very different color palette than I have ever done. So that's very nice, kind of the patriotic, US patriotic red, white, and blue-ish. So do all the YouTube things, like, share, comment, and consider subscribing. And I hope to see you all back here tomorrow. Take care.